maybe that is, I just remember that.
Yeah, I took one of those too.
I am back from my long vacation from Soapbox with Lilly and Martha. Today, it's Soapbox with Lilly and guest co-host Jade Harlow.
Obviously, I'm not Martha.
So check this out. Martha's gonna love this. So Martha's off shooting Winterthorn, and I realized that Soapbox with Lilly and Martha is all about Martha, because I'm completely useless without her. Jade and I are inept when it comes to modern technology.
Not tech savvy. Not tech savvy.
No. So you're going to have to bear with us. And on that note, so I've been off directing a gig, and I was off in New York, and it's just been kind of a happening month. But I'm back, and we're here with Jade to celebrate our Emmy nomination.
Right? To hear that with my name, especially in the context, it's definitely not the nomination I thought I would get first. I'm
Yeah,
such
right?
a pompous ass.
I know, I'm right there
that.
with you. I mean, so for those of you that don't know, we're both producers on the Bay, so this is kind of a personal nomination for us.
It is. It's great.
And it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. We have worked our booties off.
Yeah.
I think it's well deserved this year.
I think so. I'm really proud of what we shot and submitted. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So on a totally separate note, I get bashed by a girl. Now, what happened was, do you remember when I hosted Acme Saturday Night like 4 years ago?
Yes, I do.
For those of you that don't know, Acme Saturday Night is like SNL.
It's improv comedy done live in front of an audience, and it's also videotaped, and they throw it up streaming on the web, and you can go back and view it. And not only do I remember your Acme, I remember you at my apartment the night before.
Oh shit!
Running the material, and I'm the hardest person in the world to get to laugh.
Oh my god! Oh my
so
god, oh my
she's
god.
like, I'm gonna bomb, but you nailed
Oh my
it.
god! No, I was on my knees, literally in her apartment on my knees.
Because I'm like, go bigger, go
Giving-
bigger.
Yeah, giving it like my biggest performance, and I look up and there's nothing from Jade.
That's a choice.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, thank God she laughed when it actually happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my opening skit had to do with the fact that I was first runner-up in the 1988 Miss El Salvador pageant.
Mm-hmm.
So the creators, well, not the creators, but the writers are comedians, and they write their comedy skits. And I didn't have an issue with it because I was first runner-up in 1988, and the girl's name they kept. However, it was never about her personally. It was just what they found on me, the name of the girl that won, and that I was first runner-up. And from that premise, they created the skit. So,
Can we say spoof?
spoof.
They created the spoof.
Yes.
Okay. And
yes.
so people need to know what a spoof is, and it's done, it's not done in a mean way.
No.
It's supposed to be ridiculous.
It's supposed to be completely ridiculous. So when this happened, come on, guys, like a woman in El Salvador that I haven't seen since 1988 is going to go online and find my Acme show and watch it.
Oh, this is the disgruntled.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. First of all, I'd like to know why she is Googling you all these many years later. I think that is stalker and strange and weird. I'm dead serious. Like,
Right?
she's been holding on to this.
Oh, but according to her,
Okay.
I post this thing that says, no matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all. Integrity is everything. And I strongly believe this.
Agreed.
So I get this Facebook message that says, how ironic, isn't it? You posting this image, and I'm reading as she wrote, this image is in your profile when many years ago you disrespected me and took advantage of your fame, quotation marks, to make fun of me based upon lies and discrimination. This only demonstrates how much it affected you even after so many years, your lack of professionalism, maturity, and self-confidence. Regards, 1988's Miss El Salvador.
Social media attacks, they're going to happen. Usually when they do happen, they happen anonymously. The fact that she wanted it to be known that it was her saying these things to you, I think doesn't help her image no matter what she's doing at this point.
Really put myself in her shoes. Like if I were living in El Salvador, and I saw this for whatever reason, and maybe she was feeling proud that I'm doing well in the States and I'm El Salvadorian.
Or maybe she was Googling her own name and it popped up.
Maybe. But it wouldn't have been on, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah, well.
But anyway.
Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. What if you watch something, you're like, oh, Jade Harlow, and then they're acting like a complete idiot, and they're talking about these...
There's lots of that on the internet, by the way. Lots and lots of that.
So my point is that I had some compassion, so I wrote something very, very sweet, and I'm not going to bore you all with it, but it was very loving, and my last phrase was, I only have fond memories and great respect for you in that particular time in my life. Much love to you. I apologized and let her know that in no way was it meant to mock or ridicule a human being.
Right.
And she responded with, it does not affect me at all. Oh, you're a comedian now. Really? Wow. Regards.
Apparently it isn't affecting her. It's
No.
so not affecting her that she is not watching it. She is not commenting and trying to make you look bad, and she's not following up your graceful apology in case there was offense with a snide, snarky comment. So
our question to you here at Soapbox is to respond or not to respond. And you guys can tweet me what you guys think about this, because I really would love to know. Like, Stafford is famous for her retorts to mean tweets. They're fucking hilarious, and then there's the people that are like, block, delete, don't deal with it. So and then there's in between me, where I really took compassion and really explained it to her. And
I think that's classy, and I think, when someone's trying to paint you in a light that is not true as to who you are as a human being and how you carry yourself, and you clearly show that in acknowledging her as a person and trying to smooth things over, that's great, because at least you're showing the world in a way who you really are and that you care enough to give that response. I have to say, I am not that way. I'm not. There's always going to be haters. Not everybody's going to like me for whatever reason, and I can't help it. And I could sit there and I could self-analyze, and I could hate myself because someone out there hates me too, or I can just delete and block.
In her defense, her name was used and the year that she won was used.
Okay, well, you should have followed up your apology with,
I did.
Runner-up 1980. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, shit. Oh,
Like,
why didn't I
hashtag.
think of that? Did you watch the Bieber roast?
Of course I did.
And?
Okay.
Oh, my God. Did they not go too far? Did they not go too far?
There were definitely some moments where I was like, whoa, no.
Well, he's
get out
not.
of here.
He's 21 now.
Child.
Okay,
He's
okay.
not
It's
a
just because my
child.
old ass thinks everybody's so young.
No, no. There were some moments where I was like, damn, but that's the point of a roast.
I never knew that was the point of a roast.
Yes.
I've done roasts with friends where it was loving and funny, but not...
That's not a roast. That's not a roast.
Not
a
under
roast
the
is
belt.
Roasting that ass. They're in the hot seat.
Oh my
and you
God.
yeah, that's what a roast is. You go back and you look at some of the classic roasts, and that is exactly what it is. And I thought, in the spirit of roasts, it was true to the spirit of roast, but it was also one of the more extreme I've seen.
It's brutal.
But you know what? That's what I'm not a Bieber fan. I'm not a Bieber hater, and I'm not a Bieber fan.
Okay.
I just could care less. It just doesn't. It's not in my universe. The reason I tuned in, and I think a lot of others, is because Comedy Central is very smart. They know they're going to get the Bieber fans that just want to stare up at him with heart-shaped pupils and what have you. And you're going to get the people who aren't fond of Bieber that want to see him hear some tough comedic honesty.
Right.
And I didn't think it went too far, but there were definitely some moments where I was like, damn.
Oh, I thought it did. But I was really surprised to see Martha Stewart there, and I was really surprised how good she was.
Okay. Just to touch back on what we were saying, I will say that the comics were just as hard on each other as they were on the Biebs.
Oh, God, yes.
So it's fair in that capacity. Second, why wasn't Martha Stewart there? I don't understand what the point was.
I don't get it.
I didn't find her funny
I don't
at
get
all.
Oh, I thought she was hilarious.
For Martha Stewart.
She was
in
one
the context,
badass bitch. She held her own.
No.
Yes.
I disagree. And I like Martha Stewart. But, she was surrounded by professional comedians, and obviously some professional comedians had contributed to her comedic monologue. But she is not a comic. I didn't understand if like her and Justin had some kind of relationship, or maybe she was roasted previously. I didn't understand the point of her being there.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't get it either.
So if anybody knows the answer to that, please tweet me at Jade_Harlow with an answer to why she was there.
I can tell you why Martha Stewart was there.
Yes, tell us.
Because it was a warning that white people go to jail too.
Oh.
It was really to make more fun of her, like to say that this could be in your future. Like just because you're white doesn't mean that you can't get thrown in jail also.
Oh,
that was it.
Oh, shit, that's good. I'll take that.
I'll take it.
Now, before we run out of time, I also want your take on reality TV.
Okay.
It seems like more and more soap stars are now going to reality television. We have Eileen Davidson, Emmy winner, now, and Lisa Rinna. They are on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And now we have Queens of Drama premiering after the Emmys, April 26th. So if you're interested, you may want to watch. What do you think about that?
There's so much that I think about that. First of all, I'm going to hit the title. Not at all flattering, I think, to any of the people. And I've got loved ones on that show.
Yeah,
I've got Lindsay Hartley and
Yeah.
Christy Ferris that I love and worked with on Passions.
Right.
Just the title alone, I think I'm going to follow a bunch of drag queens a la Tu Wong Fu.
Right.
So, since that's not the show,
Right.
okay, moving on. Here's my take on reality TV.
Okay.
I don't watch it.
Okay.
I don't watch it. I will watch some like Langley production stuff, Cops, Jail. That's what I think real reality TV is. I don't watch reality TV because, well, I know, first let me say, I know why they're doing it. There's really good money to be made in every capacity. I don't watch it because being in the business, I know that it's reality. And I know people say, oh, but it's not, and you can't hate on it and whatever. No, it's proven fact. When the producers and the editors behind some of our major reality TV shows wanted to get involved with the Writers Guild, because they are, and these are their words, every bit as responsible as a writer writing for scripted television and creating the story content.
Are you serious?
Just because it's unscripted doesn't mean it's unwritten. They have to have character arcs and character development. They have to have climaxes and resolutions, and there is a formula to entertainment.
Well, absolutely, but I have watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and the sisters, the way they cry and hurt each other and go through shit, I don't believe that is fake.
Okay.
I don't think they're that talented to pull it off. And B,
Wow.
I would not want me and my sister's shit. Like, if me and my sisters don't have shit, I wouldn't want to pretend like we do. It's too personal.
Well, then nobody would watch your show because there's nothing happening. Nobody wants a happily ever after. Everybody wants, quote, drama. They want to feel awkward. They want to feel embarrassed for somebody. They want to feel...
There has to be some truth there. There has to be some foundation.
Let me tell you... Okay, so here's the truth. So these editors and these producers, they sit down with, hours and hours and days and weeks of footage. And they are trying to create a story. So if there is a moment that didn't happen or is missing, they will go through the footage to find something that looks like it, and they will plug it in where they see fit. It's not necessarily chronological. The interviews you're seeing aren't immediately responding after the fact. It's a formula, folks. I'm sorry. Secret of the sausage, man. Sorry.
We'll be back with the big...
Wait a minute.
Okay, we are back with Gregori, J. Martin, Eric Nelson, and Kristos Andrews. What happened to the clip? We were supposed to have a clip. It's a 15-second clip. Is it ready? Okay, let's watch this really quick.
Okay.
Context, y'all. Context.
My brother is missing and nobody cares because they're too busy worrying about the royal guarantee.
I understand that. I understand.
No, you don't.
Have some goddamn respect. This is my sister.
Okay, so yeah.
Wow.
Don't piss me off, people.
Nominated.
Killing it.
Thank you, love. So what people want to know and what I've been getting messaged about is this really the death of Jeter? Is Janice dead? And what does this mean for Leanna and Janice?
Jeter was the first Bay super couple. And so it's
You either love them or you hate them.
Is it ever the death? You know, is it the death of Bo and Hope or Luke and Laura or whoever else?
So that's kind of like your vision for this couple.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you think Leanna is going to do? She's not the most stable character around. I'm scared for Janice.
Well, you'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, it's one of those things. The way we left off in last season is we had some resolutions that also opened boxes for things that need to be resolved. So I think we're going to see the natural progression of those tie-ups and their repercussions, in every storyline capacity here.
And see, a lot of people don't know, but Jade is now part of the writing team on The Bay, so
Yeah.
she knows more than she's
I'm proud.
letting me know.
I'm proud to say I am the only other writer aside from our creator.
Woo!
Yes.
And that feels great, and it felt amazing. We've been going back and forth on the new scripts for the upcoming season, and maybe the best I have felt all week is when your boss
Aw.
calls you and says, "I love what you did."
Yes!
She's amazing, and I'm so glad. I think that it's really
Thank you.
easy to work with her in the
Thank
writing
you.
because we kind of gel that way.
Yeah.
As far as the creative aspect goes for the Bay and the way it's all structured, I would say there's 4 people that help with the creative side of the Bay. I mean, obviously you all do because you're amazing actors, Lilly and Eric and obviously Kristos and Jade.
You're an amazing director.
Thank you. I definitely want to give credit where credit is due, and so I don't want to say that I am, obviously I am, the guy in charge because I'm the creator of the show, but I could not do what I do without Kristos and his creative input, not only in the development of the scripts, because he does help in that. He doesn't write any screen. The only ones that write are Jade and I, but he does help with the development of like storyline and things like that. And then Carol, who I could not do it without.
Now, watching that clip, yes, I was the one that got the Isa nom. However, you were just as deserving to get that nom. And had I won, it would have been in my speech. But I didn't win. So
Sarah Brown should have put that in her speech. Just be random.
She came up to me and said that
You know?
afterwards. She was like, I should have spoken about you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So what I want to bring up is there has been a dramatic growth in your acting capacity.
Oh, thank you.
Dramatic. And it's not that you were ever bad. That's not my point. My point is that you went from here to here, and it feels like it was overnight.
Oh, thanks.
So how did that happen? What was your personal journey? What triggered you to go to those places where you're really standing out as an actor now?
I feel like it's no more conscious than it is subconscious, just being around the environment, being on set, working nonstop, I guess. And also just being behind the camera as a producer, you get to understand a lot more elements than the typical actor will understand in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Like, it's very useful.
How is it that a web series can be nominated for an Emmy twice and not be acknowledged by an awards show created for indie series web shows? Do you guys have a take on that?
Yes, I do. I think that the ISAs are trying to recognize the shows that aren't getting the recognition, because there's a show like everyone knows Venice, and Venice is a really successful web series, but they're never recognized at the ISAs.
That makes
True.
sense.
The Academy says that we blur the lines between daytime and primetime television. So I know our quality is much better than the average, daytime soap, and definitely the average web series. And I'm really, that doesn't say that I'm very supportive to all web content. I know there's a lot of great shows out there, and everyone's trying and they're doing their best. But I think that the ISAs kind of want to, they're an indie series award show, and so they want to kind of give the respect to those shows who are,
So
who are not getting the recognition.
What you're
they do.
Yeah, I mean, they cater to the underdog per se, but there's some great shows that I saw in that.
A lot of great
as well.
comedy
With that
shows.
For
said.
sure.
A lot of great
Yes.
So we
comedy.
don't want to discredit those.
no,
Yeah.
No,
But what we're
no
talking
way.
about is we're talking about a different.
We're talking about
a
budget, right?
No, we're talking potentially. We're talking a hierarchy of levels of independent and what
Right.
counts in certain places and what doesn't. And what I'd like to bring up is, being nominated for this Emmy and looking at our competition in our category. First of all, shout out to Anacostia, Anthony Anderson. You got a lot of love for you in this room, man.
Yes.
we do.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
we're
well.
also up against Amazon and Hulu. a show in particular that you brought to my attention, East Los High, with a budget well over $1 million.
$1.5 million.
Holy.
Yeah,
Yes.
and this is a
Marketing.
network on the internet.
Yeah.
How can we compete? Really, how can we compete? Like, I really thought this was our year. I really did. And then when I saw that, I'm like, how can we compete?
Well, I mean, I don't. There's still hope. There's still plenty of hope.
No,
okay?
but that's my question.
Yeah.
But finish your
Well,
thought.
you look at,
Right,
for
though.
example, the Golden Globes,
Right.
and there were plenty of nominees from Netflix, competing up
Yeah.
there with HBO and
Right.
some network series. Well, now, do you compare Netflix to Amazon and Hulu? And would that be the primetime Emmys' new approaches, or would that be the daytime Emmys' new
That's
approaches?
so true.
But the category of new approaches, which used to be category 71 that started, 2-3 years ago, it's still the Wild West. And we're still trying to figure it out, and I'm sure the Academy is trying to figure out where to place it and how many different categories, whether we acknowledge the actors individually or whether we acknowledge the directing or the writing or whatever. So, it's strange, the hierarchy of independent.
And
we
I should
have
mention-
I'm sorry, we have a minute left and we haven't talked to Eric. Eric,
Yes.
I just want to tell you that I am the most selfish bitch, and I don't like Gregori writing in new characters because it means less work for me. But I love you.
Thank you.
I love your work. I love your character. I love the comic relief that you have brought to the show. You are seriously like my favorite new male character, and I hope that I don't get in trouble for that.
No, I take that as a very big compliment because there's a lot of guys on the show.
And I know that you're like kind of badass. You have a movie coming out this year. You just did a
The
guest
Following?
star on Following. You have an MTV show thing going on. I mean, why take the interest in a web series?
Because it's funny, actually. Gregori came up to me, so did Kristos. They approached me at the Emmys last year, at the Creative Arts
really?
last year, when
Good
I was
job,
there on
Gregori.
behalf of all my children. And he's like, I love your work on the show. I have this series called The Bay. I was like, yeah, I've heard of it. And
He
he's
has a
like-
good eye, guys. Gregori G. Martin has a good eye.
And long story short, ended up moving to LA about a month after that, got in touch, and he said he'd love to work together. I was ecstatic. I was like, my first LA job. Yeah, this is great. And it's just, it's awesome because Gregori can work around schedules. They're flexible, but at the same time, it's also demanding, and you need to make sure that you know what I mean. So,
And now he's an Emmy-nominated producer.
and
Yes.
so yeah, that
And
didn't hurt
that
either.
is my answer. Okay, but how does it differ for you that just literally worked on a film, worked on an online soap opera, worked on a guest star on a primetime series, and now working on a web series? What is the difference of working in our territory?
There's no difference for me because work is work for me, and I just enjoy being busy, and I enjoy being in front of a camera, whether it's a D5 or a red whatever. I love it. I
Well, we
it.
love you.
Well,
like,
thank you. I don't want to go
seriously.
anywhere, so I'm
What
ready to keep going.
Such a great addition. And on that note, we got to go to break. It sucks. But we'll be back with some more members of The Bay.
Cool.
Later.
Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey, 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 oh!
Good education on reality TV.
Feel free to Google it, y'all. Feel free to Google it.
Yes.
Is it raw or is it scripted? That is the question.
I think that there are setups that the women are given and that they start talking to each other, and I think that when you see it, it's a mix of entertainment and how they would behave in this situation. Yes, the cameras are there. Yes, they know the cameras are there, but a good reality show is when you tune in and you kind of forget the cameras are there, and one reason you can forget is because the people being taped forget.
Really?
Fly
Okay,
on
so
the wall.
that's what I was telling her. Have you seen Real Housewives of Beverly Hills ever?
I've seen a little.
Okay, the
Little.
sisters, they oh my gosh, they get into it and they cry and they cry. And I know I would be crying that way if it was me and my sister, so it's hard for me to believe that it's not real.
It is real. They started as child actresses, so they've kind of been in the business forever, and this is just another element of it. And the cameras are with them a lot of the time, and the cameras only end up airing a
So there's
certain
really only
percentage.
so much that you can control as far as scripted when it's a reality show. If they're
Right.
with you that long, they're going to catch
Correct.
something.
They're gonna catch
They're gonna
something.
catch something.
What,
Would
like-
you ever do one?
I would do it if I was like the fix-it man. I'd come to your home and fix it.
Sexy fix-it man.
Well, I mean the Mike Rowe kind of thing.
Oh,
Is that, you know, is that
shut
reality? Is it
up.
reality when Mike Rowe comes in and they have to break open the sewer line and they go in and everyone's going,
Dirty
wow.
Jobs.
Would
one of the
Matthew
best shows on
Ashford
TV.
ever do it as Matthew Ashford, the soap stud that people have been watching for years and years
Oh,
and
you
years?
mean so what? Playing myself, being
Yeah. No, you being your life.
being my life, I suppose, depending on the writing.
I have to in there.
Can I? Writing.
I mean, come on. It's real. Come on, Jay.
Can I just say,
Yes,
Matt Ashford, the world does not know, and I know you've got fans that think you're sexy and whatever, but they really don't have an inkling as to how sexy.
Oh, geez.
And how charismatic.
Wow, look what's happening
and how
here
charming.
now. Oh, my God.
I think there would be legions of women dying at your feet.
Oh, here is my favorite new character on the bait, female, Kira.
That's so sweet of you, Lily.
I don't ever give a compliment I don't mean. And if
well-
you've known me long enough, you'll know that about me.
Well, I appreciate that. Very
Kristos
sincerely.
laughs because he knows. He just asked me the other day, do you like my gold watch? And I'm like,
And I said, enough said.
yeah.
I'm returning it.
Yeah, he goes, I don't want you to speak. He said to me, I don't want you to speak after that reaction.
Can I just say the best thing that, because you underplay your intelligence a lot in general. I'm sorry to skip over it because I am a big fan. I'm a big fan of you and the show. You know how I feel about your character.
Yes.
But the best thing you've ever said to me in the time I've known you since '09 is I come in the office late at night and we're working and I was
Late
just like,
at night,
late at
folks.
night, and I was just like, I love Bill Hader, and Kristos says, yeah, you look like the type that love a hater, and I just lost it.
Well, that's her type.
He's got that zing we don't see.
When Gregori called me up and said, after a little conversation we had about a character that I could possibly play, and he said, I wrote something for you, tell me what you think. And I read it and I was like, oh my God, I'm the luckiest woman in the world. I get to play my dream character. I come from working for Playboy TV. I was a reporter, producer,
See,
writer.
many people don't know this about
Playboy.
sexy little Kira.
So I started off on Sexcetera as a reporter, and I got to go to Amsterdam and interview the ladies who ran the brothel, the madams, the real working girls.
Were you high?
Was I high? Dude, I was in Amsterdam. I was high the whole time.
You'll get it. Yeah, that's right.
And I got to go to the legal brothels in the States. I got to meet all these girls and also be immersed, embedded in this world where...
So to speak.
Yeah.
And I love Ashford! And play in it and get to know these people and get to know them as real people and see what drives them and see what makes them choose this. And most of these women are not women who were forced into it like our characters.
Right.
Some of our characters, a lot of women are choosing this, whether their lives, are so great that that's the best choice for them.
Or they have nowhere else to go and think that's
nowhere
love.
else to go. Yeah. So, and also to see these women who are businesswomen, who are smart, hard-nosed businesswomen,
Right.
and who are getting these girls through college by, starting the first black strip club in America, and all these girls are going to Howard. And they're getting their degrees, and to be there amongst these people in the inner cities of D.C., and to meet these people who are real people with kids and lives and aspirations.
Unbelievable.
I gotta say,
this is good
You're going to
shit.
class up Steve Jensen's whole operation. I can see that now. That's
And that's what I love about Jo, the character that Gregori's written too, is that she's got a soft spot for the girl. She's like, these girls need to be treated with respect.
Jade becomes Leanna, and she takes
Yeah.
it personally.
Very method.
Yes.
not happy.
No.
Just
no,
right now you
not
weren't happy.
No. So
The
she
method
comes
came
up
back.
to me and she's like, how does a mother end up with her daughter's ex-boyfriend? I'm like, well, maybe she did a better
nothing.
job at
Maybe
pleasing
none
him.
of it.
And she was enraged. I thought it was hilarious. I thought
Not
it was
happy.
so funny. I thought it was my Jade.
There's this
no.
moment. There's this moment.
She
Gregory,
was enraged. Tell it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean
Tell
to
it.
cut you off. Like,
No, because
but,
you know the story.
Well, there's this moment Gregory jokes about where something like there was a joke on set, but Leanna, Jade was in character and.
She said that to me.
eyes out.
She really did. She said that to me.
Yeah, something like that.
I think I said something along
It
the
was
lines
Leanna.
of, I will cut her face against the grain so the scars will never heal.
You heard it here. You heard. Oh my God! I love that picture that I just saw of all of you.
Hey,
You all look so disturbed.
That's what I'm here for.
Hey, we take acting very seriously at the Bay.
On Twitter, Jade Harlow, or Jade_Harlow on Twitter, at Lilly Melgar on Twitter, and thank you for watching Soapbox.
Girl, set you hallelujah. Girl, set you hallelujah.